Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Virginia Community Overwatch Invitational. I'm your caster, Hodahori, and it's playoff time. Yes, this is the second game of the semifinal, featuring George Mason University and the the players from the Tidewater, the Old Dominion University Monarchs. They will be on your screen in a moment, and they will be playing to see who will be in the championship match here in the VCOI and who will go to the third place match. Joining me as my co-commentator and color caster extraordinaire, it is Pulse. And how you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good, Hodo. It's a great Saturday morning for me since I'm West Coast, but we have a pretty good game. The SR difference is a little bit higher than yesterday, but these are both teams that we've casted a couple times. So George Mason sitting in their very much a GM team, and then Old Dominion, which is average around 3,600, I would say. But
Hmm.
they have a couple players that have been to top 500 range, GM range, like Fenrir. We've seen a lot of good plays from these people because we've casted them probably like 3 or 4 times now.
Yeah, we've casted Old Dominion University. Let's read off their lineup here at an average SR of indeed 3,600. It's Aristos and Zerxton who will be on your DPS. Fenrir and GT Lugo are your tanks, and Zero Chillery and Cybear are going to be your uh, your support members. So let's take a look at the GMU roster sitting at 4,300. It is a roster of 8 here, but they will be running 6 as they're just waiting for people to come on in. It is 2-0 Initials and Jackson here on your DPS. Zurori, Hamster Quest, and Gunfighter GL will be your tanks, and Early Bird and Neuro will be your main support. So, what's on the line here? The winning team will go to the LAN event. Yes, the GMU Game Mason Live event being held on April 5th. The winner will play in the championship map best of 7 to determine who is the best team in the state of Virginia. The loser here will play in the third place game starting at 6 p.m. against Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech losing to JMU yesterday 3-0. So JMU will be one of the main teams in the final. The third place game opponent will be the Virginia Tech Hokies. So that is here what will be on the line for both teams here. They will be starting in a format where we will start on, looks like Elios, I think, to start off with. ODU and George Mason will be playing in a solid sort of Overwatch League format where they will go to hybrid, followed by 2 CP, and then ending on escort. It is a best of 5, so first to 3 will be the winner. George Mason having a huge SR advantage, but ODU having ex-GM players who maybe have taken a little casually, seeing their SR sort of slide, not taking the game as seriously, though, are no pushovers here, Pulse.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, we've been casting Old Dominion for multiple games just because of how the the games were picked for casting. So
Mhm.
we've managed to see a lot of really clutch plays from well over half their roster at this point. And if they can keep it up, then they have a serious shot at upsetting George Mason.
Yeah, they will absolutely have a shot here. So let's just also mention that GMU Overwatch might have other priorities here as they will be playing the Utah Utes sometime next week. They will be trying to qualify for the TESPA National College Championships, where they will be flown to Houston and play at a LAN event there. So it is very, very important that they defeat Utah. So they might not have all eyes on the game tonight here against ODU. Information about that game will be mentioned here on their Twitter and on their Instagram. So, absolutely, everybody who is watching, please subscribe to both of them so that you know when the Patriots will be playing the Utes. On, I think it will be on the Blizzard channel, so it will be the TESPA round of 16. If they win that match, they will go on to Houston and play the best of 8 round event there in Houston. It should be a huge event there for GMU. So cheer them on as they try to make the National Elite Eight here in the TESPA Championships. Oh, looks like they're still going to be waiting here for one more player from George Mason to come on through. So we're going to go to a little bit of a break here. So when we come back, we will be starting on our first map. It will be George Mason and ODU here in this semifinal round 2 in the Virginia Community Overwatch Invitational. So when we come back, it will be the first map. It will be Assault. So stay tuned. Alrighty, folks, we are back, and our first map is mistaken by me. It is actually going to be Nepal. Nepal will be the first map here, and it looks like we're going to be starting here out on Village, Paul. So both teams still starting to file in, having some connection issues here on the other side. ODU looking like they might have lost two players, as some errors here occurring in the pregame.
Initiating.
Yeah, they might want to. Okay, it looks like they're going back to lobby and restarting it, but they didn't get kicked out. They were just
Traveling
taking a
to
while to
Nepal.
load. So might get a different first map. I don't know how they'll actually play out among them, but we're going to Shrine this time. So we'll see if these players manage to load in.
Yeah, it looks like there's some issues here on the ODU side, as maybe we should just give it a pause here, as both computers seem like they're having some serious issues. There we go.
hmm And based on what we see so far, I'm really hoping that this Torb Doomfist stays. In all honesty, like it's probably not, but I'm really hoping that it does.
Yeah, with some of the changes here, maybe people need to start experimenting on some of the DPS players, as it looks like here, GT Lugo is saying that he uh, was a little bit bugged here on the side of ODU. So, Overwatch has been a little iffy here since the patch. I know that people have been getting like weird black screens when they're trying to sort of join in. Looks like Cyber finally got in, and now it's only going to be GT Lugo that is going to be the only person holding out. So teams here are just sort of messing around here on Nepal. It looks like it will be Shrine here to start off with, as both teams are going to get a little bit of early practice while we sort of hold off and wait here for GT Lugo to sort of come back in. He's going to need a reset. So as you see the looping video here of Nepal, both teams here are just going to be sort of just messing around. Pulse, when we do get back in here, what do you think we're going to see from both teams? George Mason did very, very well in their opening round match in the Testament Championships, and they are playing that under the new patch. So I don't know how much goats we're going to be seeing between these two teams.
Well, I'd like to point out that Initials just got, I think, a quad kill on Torb. So let's say Torb. I'm gonna say Torb.
You're gonna
But
say Torb.
like we were talking about, Shrine is the first map, and up until this patch, it has been very heavily favored Goats map. Like the map geometry may not be the best, but this is one of those ones where Goats was played a lot. Since then, we've seen a lot more 2-2-2, a little bit of Goats. I've seen one or two teams run triple DPS even on this map, just because it's the map geometry sort of allows it to happen. It's a very open point. So really, in reality, any of those compositions could make an appearance here from either side. It just depends on what they want to run.
Ready for battle.
Yeah, and from ODU here, they're going to be playing a little bit disadvantaged because their SR is a little bit lower. GMU here are going to be the perennial favorites, but I think maybe they'll have a good shot here. They need to get an early pick off here on the members of GMU before they're getting in. 10 seconds before their attack, so map video here is going to go away, and we're going to be live. And finally here, we get started. It will be GMU here in blue, and ODU will be the team in red. So here we go as they start off. It looks like ODU here going in with a little bit of a monkey diva, so they're looking
Yeah,
for
ODU's rolling in with that 2-2-2 composition, but we see Doomfist and 3 tanks on the side of GMU, which honestly it kind of operates a lot closer to quad tank just because of how thick Doomfist is as a character.
Yeah. So here comes the initial engage, and as you say that, Doomfist got taken out there right away by Zerxton. So Jackson gets immediately taken out. Zerxton going big here with two big kills of taking out early bird too. GMU is going to have to sort of fall back unless they can get some kills here to even out the fight. Zerxton finally gets taken out here on a big charge there by Hamster Quest. Initials DMAX GT Lugo, but GMU still behind a little bit as Gunfighter looking like he got disconnected. So we're going to go to technical difficulties here. As the beeping here, nope, no pause. It looks like Hamster Quest here saying they're just going to go. So no pause needed here. And yeah, looks like they will need to go. So pause will come back up, and it will be the Team 2 offense here. We will start immediately right away, and the fight will continue here as Fenrir actually takes out 2, and it looks like GMU is going to get sent back into spawn.
Yeah, some of that, they definitely started with a really good pick. Xerxton and Aristos, as soon as they spotted out the Doomfist, they just zoned in and completely destroyed the Doomfist. Like, there was no doubt about it. He was dead. So they had that early advantage in the fight. And having that player disconnect definitely didn't help. But it looks like they're trying to figure out what's going on with these pauses here.
Wait, well, hold on. And we really, I just got booted out of the channel. So that was fun. So, old K, we're going back to some technical difficulties here. Not exactly sure what was going on there, so I'm going to try to see if I can get back into the channel here. Somebody's going to have to send me an invite. Sorry, folks, we're just having some technical difficulties here on our side, as it seems like there have been some real issues here with the server. So, Speedy, I'm going to try to join your game here. And, yeah. So, Pulse, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. I also got booted to the menu, so
Yeah. So a little bit
we
of
make the most of this.
yeah, a little bit of instability here to start off the Saturday Saturday version of Overwatch here. So please excuse us, folks. We're just having some weird issues. It looks like Overwatch has just a game crashed for everyone as everybody was booted right out of the channel. Right out of the game, apparently. So it wasn't just their one player there on GMU. It seemed like it was everyone. So
That one's new from Blizzard.
yeah. Yeah, so it now will be we're going back, and we will end up going back here to Nepal, but the way that for anybody who's not very familiar with the way that the lobbies are set up, because of the way King of the Hill works, we're still going to get a random map. We won't actually end up probably starting on Shrine unless we're very, very lucky. So
There's a way you can force a map in lobbies, but it doesn't happen the same way. It's kind of obnoxious, honestly. Because you can select like first, second, or third map of King of the Hill.
mhm.
And Shrine, I think, was the second one, because Village is first. It's a really weird system, but it's cool in that the way they pick the numbering is in every King of the Hill map, it takes place on like a cliff or a mountain, and one of them's closer to sea level, one of them's really high up on the mountain, and the first one's always, I think, the lowest one. So in this case, it'd be Village, and then you go up to Shrine, and then you go up to Sanctum, which is supposed to be on the peak. So some Overwatch lore for cough maps.
Yeah, because you can sort of see it if you do sort of like a sky view of everything. Looks like GMU here will actually end up going into the map here with only 5, so we are going to go back into the match here. So they're going to be running a little short.
Traveling to Nepal.
So still having some disconnect issues on their other end. So they're going to just, I think, go and start the match here with 5, but we're as we say that, we're going to be starting here on Village, I think, because of the manual start. So we will be starting here on Village,
Initiating match.
and it will be short-handed here as GMU will be starting without their one member who was disconnected early and is still trying to get back.
And that member was the Diva player, and Diva is a good hero in 6-man compositions just because Diva's so good at rounding out comps. But you can still make it by with 5 without a Diva and have a comp that's kind of counterable by a lot of stuff, but something that's really synergistic anyway. So while that person might be a good player to have, it's not the worst position to lose, because you still have a lot of the core comp functionalities.
Yeah.
This map will be kind of hard to attack into, though, if this is seriously what ODU is going to run, and they might be taking advantage of that, because double shield Mei is very defensive and very kind of obnoxious to play into.
Yeah, and they're going to be able to try to see if they can separate Hamster
5,
Quest from everybody
4,
else around the map.
3,
So
2,
the looks like though Hamster
1.
Quest is going to end up going on
Round
to the
1.
Hamster.
Capture
So
the
they're going to be
objective.
trying to see if maybe they can use a little bit of mobility to get him around walls and see if he can not get trapped, because they will be playing with 5 here. So ODU going straight onto the point, and will actually just fight onto the point here and try to use Aristos' wall to just sort of prevent them from coming off. The rest of the members of GMU playing short-handed here are going to have to come from the high ground, so they're just sort of waiting and stalling and just trying the best they can to just sort of maybe wait until they get their person to come back in, as they're going to be trying to sort of connect. It looks like they're basically waiting to see what kind of comp they're running before actually fully attacking and giving percentage back to the
Well,
members
what
here
happened
of ODU.
was they
Yeah.
let ODU take points since they won the first fight before
Mhm.
the pause. So they in good sportsmanship forfeited the point to let them have that first
Well, there
fight
you go.
again.
That's what I thought was going to happen here. So they are going to actually just sort of wait here. I don't remember what the actual percentage was that they're actually going to go. So
Mhm.
so a little bit maybe more waiting here and waiting for this to even out a little bit before they actually start to make their attack.
Mhm.
Now it looks
So
like
they did
early.
make a switch. Hamster Quest swapped over to the Roadhog, and now they're starting to make their way in. Jackson with an early pick on Cyber means that they're not going to have a lot of healing on point.
Yeah, so they, that bunker healing that they needed with the Moira is going to be huge. So now it's actually 5v5 here as they wait for Cyber to sort of come back, and now they're just shooting into the shield. They're using the May wall specifically to sort of block off entrances and not allowing people to sort of come on in, as now the point is actually going to be contested here, but they looks like they've sort of pulled 2 members away over to the high ground, as members here of GMU are just basically trying to sort of stay alive. Hamster Quest here gets taken out there from Aristos, but it looks like Old Dominion is going to be able to hold this as they've retreated back to the point here, and the fight here has to sort of fall back. There's just nothing Initials and Early Bird here can do, as 2-0 here is going to have to fall back, and ODU here looking dominant with their one-man advantage.
That one man advantage making a whole lot of extra tankiness into this comp, because normally Ryan Orisa isn't something that you see frequently because shield tanks don't have quite as much utility as what most people consider offense. So shields are good by all means, but they don't offer that versatility that you get from a D.Va or from a Zarya.
Yeah, it looks like the ult there from May will be able to freeze Hamster Quest, though, as Initials comes in with the barrage. It's only going to be able to get the Bongo before he gets killed here. We're already at 99%, as GMU here is just not going to make any headroom here in this 6v5, and Xerxen will use his ult to clear off the point, and first blood here going to ODU, as GMU here is just not going to be able to make any headway, playing really, really hard into that bunker comp.
Score
And that's,
2-1.
like I said, that's composition sort of one that is built for Nepal Village, but also it is a little bit cheesy and definitely helps when you're up one person. So making good use of that man advantage, but we've already seen that GMU wants to be done with this map because they have some things after this that they have to take care of.
Yes, absolutely. So they're going to be rushing through, as ODU here will have the man advantage and will play through 6v5 here as we go. Now back onto Shrine, Hamster Quest and Jackson here on the Reinhardt Zarya on the side here of GMU, as GMU will be pushing through. So now ODU here coming in, Xerxen back there on the McCree, as we saw him do really, really well before all of the technical difficulties here on the maps here, excuse me. So therefore now it will be GMU here pushing in with their 5 men, trying to sort of displace. Oh, Early Bird gets taken out fast there, but Initials takes out Aristos on the Sombra, but maybe is this 5v4 here not going to be enough, as Hamster Quest tries to charge out in here and survive. Jackson and Hamster Quest trying to protect each other here as they start to fall back, but 2-0 and Jackson both go down. Hamster Quest going down here, and ODU looking dominant as they're going to get early control here on Shrine.
And I want to point out that Jackson had a really clutch bubble on the Hamster Quest early in that fight to stop a hack. The reaction time on that was absolutely insane.
So now here, Hamster Quest will switch up here, will go to the Hammond, as they're trying to try to see if they can find some sort of configuration here that might be able to break through ODU's sort of defenses as they're starting to push through. But ODU here now set up here already here on the platform, so it's going to be a little bit of tough sledding here for GMU. Plus they've got Aristos here messing around in the background on that Sombra, trying to see if he can hack anybody that can come through. Early kill onto 2-0 as 2-0 gets rezzed and killed again. Initial gets taken down again, and losing your Zarya, as you've seen, is very, very difficult to sort of continue playing with, as he is pretty much a second DPS, but that's going to force the members of GMU back. So GMU here, unfortunate, not going to be able to sort of push on through. We're already here at 47%.
Yeah, things are definitely looking dangerous on them for Nepal, and they're playing well, they're applying pressure correctly, but again, when you're down this man, there's only so much you can do in the actual game.
Yes, 2-0 here is now going to be setting up on the high ground. Maybe he can get some a little bit of long range kills here. Try to pick up members here of ODU. Bomb gets sent into the corner, uses initials, tries to use that to get some extra energy here as they're on the high ground here. Monkey jumps up, and Jackson gets taken out here by Xerxton, as it's not good. They lose their Ana right away, and Hamster Quest gets Aristos, but the trades have been going the wrong way, as it looks like here it is Early Bird who is just sort of trapped there by the tank here of ODU. It's going to get sort of stalled out here. Oh no, we normally see this on a diva, but Early Bird here trying his best to sort of get away. They're going to kill her and stagger her really, really badly, and oh my goodness, with a 90%, they're just going to have to go. ODU here looking very dominant. 2-0 already coming in, but there's just really nothing they can do here, as they're going to try to push in. Hamster Quest trying to get onto the point and maybe start overtime here, and overtime will start as Transcendence comes out here for the members of ODU. High Noon coming out here, but it's not going to be able to get onto the point here, and ODU will be able to get first blood here on Nepal.
And I think the best thing about this is that ODU is really respecting the players of GMU. They're not going easy. They're not trying cheeky stuff for the most part. They're picking things that are good for them, and also still playing very seriously. And it's showing, because they're not giving GMU an inch.
Yeah, they absolutely aren't. Even though GMU is playing with 5 men, they are playing safe, which is something that that we've been seeing. So therefore, they're just not going to be going out there and just sort of memeing and trying to sort of push on them. They know they're a team of GM players, so it is going to be hard sledding even at 5. So now it will be up to GMU here to pick the map. So they're just going to go straight into the map here, and it is going to be Hollywood. So Hollywood will be your next map here as we sort of go in, and no waiting. So we're just going to go straight on through here. And oh dear goodness, it looks like we're having some technical difficulties again, as I think there's just something going on here with the servers.
Yeah, I have to wonder if it's something that is being experienced by more than just us. So
yeah, I mean, like,
very unusual.
Very, very unusual here. So it looks like finally they finally loaded in, and it looks like we are going to be going through. It will be Hollywood here, and so we are just going to take you here into the second, just trying to make sure both teams here are going to be ready. It looks like both teams are going to be loading in. So we're going to take you directly here into this map. So it's got to be manually started, but it looks like Cybear still has not loaded, and Cybear had issues before trying to load in, as both teams are just trying to make sure everybody's in. So now it looks like we're going to be going to the assembly phase, but I still don't. I see Cybear in the chat, but I don't see Cybear's sort of health. So I'm wondering if the server issues are bound here for sort of everybody affected.
I think it's definitely affecting a lot of people, just based on what we've seen, what's been happening with this lobby in general. But we'll see how this plays out. I think Cyber just doesn't have the health bar because it hasn't selected a hero yet.
Yeah. So we'll see everybody pop on through here in the next 5 seconds as we get out of the assembly phase. Hollywood is the map here, Pulse, and this is very interesting because with Hollywood, this is one of those you know, maps where a full hold here is possible from a team who is trying to sort of defend here, because the approach onto Hollywood is not necessarily the easiest in the world. You sort of have to go through the corner, and then there are multiple options where you can go to the high ground, you can go to the low ground and wrap around. But with the defense here starting 6v5, they're going to probably just sort of get sort of pushed through, and they're going to try to sort of bully their way onto point A.
I think that's really their only option. What they're running now looks to be basically goats without the diva, and again, that comp just offers so much brawling power that it gives you a good advantage that you wouldn't have trying to run 6 in like a triple DPS or 6 in like a dive composition.
So Fenrir here leading the line here on the Winston. It looks like the members of GMU have actually positioned themselves here up on the high ground as he's going to try to jump in and sort of dislodge them. He does get the high ground positioning, so this will force GMU a little bit back, but it looks like they moved on to the choke. Fenrir here trying to sort of survive. He gets down to half health, but they've done what they needed to do. Hamster Quest goes down before Fenrir actually dies, and therefore now it is all 4 members remaining here going to be up on the payload, which forces GMU back. No main tank here is not going to be able to. They're not going to be able to sort of push very well. Initials here getting discorded and immediately taken out, melted there by the members of ODU, as they're just not going to be able to survive. Early Bird takes out Cybear, but might not be enough here. An early take here from ODU.
And even though we did see Early Bird take out Cybear, like you said, yeah, it gets res, so there's not a whole lot of usefulness. 2-0 is now switching over to the Widow, and they're moving to this double sniper Hammond comp. So it gives them a little bit more versatility on the high grounds of Hollywood Street phase, and it also allows them to sort of deal with Aristos too.
Yeah, and this might even up the fight here because they can give themselves an early a 5v5 here with these just sort of one-click headshots that they're trying to go for. Unfortunately, 2-0 having some issues here trying to get back on the field. Initials, though, takes out Aristos, and this is the defense that they're sort of looking for, as now Hamster Quest just trying to sort of make space and sort of stall out the payload, but the payload has moved all the way over to like this middle section of the street space here, as Hamster Quest trying his best to actually make sure the team stays up here. Fight count all on the payload as they're trying to sort of find a target here. Fenrir getting really, really low as Hamster Quest just being a nuisance there into the background. Most of the members here of ODU have started to sort of press onto the backline here as 2-0 gets taken down. Blade actually coming out here from Zerkston. He's going to be in the area, but it gets taken down right, but not before he takes Jackson down. So it looks like ODU here will still have an advantage as they position one man onto the payload, and they're going to try to go spawn camping here and make sure that GMU here does not get out of spawn easy at all.
I mean, that's exactly what they want to do too. They want to make sure that this cart hits B on this push right now. But it looks like Early Bird and Hamster Quest are going to find their way out, spawn in, fight on point.
Yeah, Lucio coming out here from GMU to make sure that they sort of survive, but they've basically used both support ults as looks like the wings popped here from the Mercy. Initials gets taken down here, so they are at a 6v4 advantage as they're trying to sort of push through. Jackson gets taken down again, and now it is just a rampant ODU as they're trying to sort of push through and try to make sure that they clear out this point, making excellent time here on Hollywood. They're going to have over 5 minutes here to push on to point C.
And we've seen GMU get these picks occasionally, but again, it's just so hard playing into this 5v6, even with Sniper. They've been getting picks, but Fenrir has just been doing a really good job of eliminating Initials on Hanzo, who has been doing a lot of this work. Been getting a lot of early picks, but getting a lot of picks in the middle fights sustain their advantage, so Fenrir is just playing objectives right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Initials here trying to sort of figure out what they can sort of do. Playing this 6v5 here, it's very, very difficult for them. But he does have a dragon here, so he can probably use that to sort of stall the point out a little bit. But at 425 is just a tremendous amount of time. Members here looking like they're trying to sort of push through as he's just sort of waiting to see if they can maybe team it up with anything else. Great shot there on the Fenrir, and here comes the dragon to sort of clear it out. Diva Bomb gets sent back into the back line here. Will take out Zero Chillery, actually gets taken out here by the dragon, but now Zerkston here on the blade, hunting anybody they can. He's looking for the Mercy here as Early Bird's got to run. Unfortunately, gets taken out here. Fight will turn around into the favor of ODU here. 2-0 coming out onto the Tracer, able to take out Cybear, and now it's just a stall. Doomfist comes out from Jackson, not going to be able to do anything. 2-0 still alive, trying to just be a nuisance, and they need to just sort of focus and take him out. They are going to be able to do so with a huge time bank of 3:41 here on the clock.
And that's a very good standard to beat Hollywood in a normal matchup, a normal 6v6. So it's pretty good sign for ODU victory on Hollywood right now.
Yeah, and they're staring at a very, very hard point A push. A lot of the reason I think maybe they picked Hollywood is because of the high ground advantage, and maybe they can use a Widow to sort of even out fights. to make sure that they could have better fight situations going into this map. But unfortunately, their ODU, no mercy on them whatsoever. And now it is going to be George Mason here going to be on offense as they're going to be trying their best here. One man down to try to push onto a point A that is normally very difficult to take and with regards to positioning and approach. So it's going to be tough sledding for them.
Definitely. And we'll see how they approach this. Oh, and especially with a bunker comp coming out on the defense, this Bastion Orisa, which is definitely not unheard of. Orisa's pretty strong on Hollywood Point A. I've seen a lot of success from like Orisa, Ashe, Pharah, just because of how much pressure that puts on tank lines between Dynamite, Rockets, Orisa gun. And with that Symmetra to help teleport them around, it's going to be very hard to pin them down.
Yeah, it's basically find the Bastion on defense here. So the Bastion's going to be in various locations around the map. So it'll be up to Aristos to make sure that those teleporters are up, making sure. It looks like they've positioned the Bastion here on top of the cafe. So that will be the first positioning here of where that they can put him. But notice the turret placement and notice where Aristos is actually sitting. So it's possible that they could actually teleport the Bastion here behind this wall. And therefore misposition and misinterpret where they think the Bastion could be coming from. So initially here, turrets on the front desk, on the front door here, we'll try to sort of position this. Hamster Quest actually gets deleted right away as Xerxton actually was able to take him out, and now looking like they're going to be down their tank as GT Lugo here trying to finish off 2-0 Initials, holding out the front door, and 2-0 Initials both go down here, and back to the drawing board. GMU is going to have a hard 3 minutes and 30 seconds here to get through this weird comp defense here from ODU.
Yeah, I wouldn't even call it weird. This is something that's come up in a handful of 2CP maps, including like Hanamura. And just because when you have this Bastion that you have no clue where it's going to be, or every time you see a Bastion, one of the biggest weaknesses of is, okay, he can't move this fight, so we'll just approach it differently. You can't do that when he teleports mid-fight, mid-approach.
So it looks like here they're keeping him steady here right onto the cafe. So that's where they're going to try to keep moving him. The teleport's been using strictly for the Symmetra at this point. So they really aren't going to be teleporting him. So it looks like they're going for the full wraparound as they're trying to sort of go all the way into the back and try to dislodge him off of the cafe. Here they come. And now they were able to take out Early Bird first, who decided to lead the line there, which might have not necessarily been the best choice in the world here. Hamster Quest has been sort of sort of split off from the rest of the team. The rest of the members here are just sort of fighting on high ground, trying to deal with what is going on here. 2-0 underneath the restaurant here, trying to get anybody down, but Xerxton takes Early Bird out again, who's trying to rejoin the team. 6v4 here as Aristos actually has positioned the Symmetra here into the hotel, trying to make sure that nobody can sort of sneak themselves in. And the members of GMU are just sort of trapped in the background. Initials gets taken down here, so it's now just going to be an Ana and a Winston here into the background. So down they go, and again, another reset here coming out from GMU. ODU's held this relatively well.
This would be even a hard defense to take in a non-disadvantageous situation, just because as long as Aristos is saving that teleporter, Xerxton can teleport between the two high grounds around point pretty painlessly. And it's very hard to attack Cafe as a dive comp because you always have to take a very similar route just to avoid all of the spam damage. So Hamster Quest making his way and now getting a lot of cleave damage, but already has to retreat the point.
Yeah, he's nano boosted, is trying to keep him up. That Discord Orb is sort of nullifying all that extra damage mitigation that he's getting. Transcendence here coming out from Cybear, as it looks like here they're just trying to make sure that they hold this point steady. 118 here left on the clock. They wipe out both Jackson and Initials. So now it is another hold here, as it will be Xerxton trying to sort of reposition himself back up on the high ground. 1 minute left to go, and ult's going to be coming up here for GMU here, but it is only going to be Early Bird here with the shield, so I'm not exactly sure how much push they're going to be able to get.
They have swapped to triple DPS Lucio Diva. At this point, it seems like a little bit of a panic comp. This is probably one of the only things they can run. They just need damage to take down at least one person so that they can make headway out of this point.
Yeah, Aristos, they are keeping him at bay with those orbs coming out from the Symmetra, as Hamster Quest here is going to be the only tank available here from GMU. 30 seconds to go. Initials able to demech GT Lugo here. But Cybear is taking down Initials here, losing one of their DPS. So Cybear getting really low, just trying to see if he's able to sort of do anything, as they were trying to sort of flank around up onto the high ground here. Not going to be able to do so now, as it looks like here 15 seconds left to go. GMU have to go here if they sort of want to take this point. Hanzo finally back here from initials.
10 seconds remaining.
As the members have wrapped around, as the fight has sort of split itself into two. Hamster Quest on the point here, trying to see if they can actually start overtime. They're going to be able to do so here, but Hamster Quest got eliminated here, as now the Lucio ult came out from early bird, but not going to be able to do anything about it. Bomb comes out from GT Lugo, not going to get anything. Big shield here, as it looks like GT Lugo takes down early bird and not going to be able to finish off anyone, and it is going to be ODU with the full hold. They're 2 to the good here. They just need one more, and they will advance to the LAN event and the championship game here of the VCOI.
And it's looking very likely that's going to happen, but I do want to just point out, because we've been casting some of these players, just Fenrir, Zerxt, and Aristos, all of them have been very clutch today, like normal. So definitely they might be the ones going to LAN event, but you can't take them too lightly, even though that team average SR is relatively low compared to some of the other teams that are going to be out there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, these are experienced players, and I'm just thinking, as I was saying earlier, that it might be one of those cases in which it's like they've just sort of fell off the comp map, as a lot of Overwatch players sort of hate comp and doing the grind and making sure that you stay at that sort of high SR. But it's not like their skill left them in any way. So it's one of those, like, you know, they look like they're a mid masters team, or like an early masters team, like a 3600, 3700 team. But in fact, what they are just a whole bunch of GMs who just refuse to play comp. And this could be one of those cases here in the case of ODU. So they're looking very, very good here, as it is going to be Hollywood that they take. So 2-0 lead here on the scoreboard as we go into a third map, and it will be 2CP. So an assault map here, and it will be GMU who does get to choose. So GMU here will get to choose to see who will, what map they will get to pick, as they are going to be debating. You know, I'm not exactly sure here with a 6v5 disadvantage here what kind of map that they would want to use. We saw team yesterday, in order to try to get avoiding to get full swept, they picked Volskaya, just because they were playing, VT was playing more of a DPS lineup, and just trying to see if they could sort of use that because of the way that the Volskaya approach works. Oh, it looks like, though, maybe a change of fortune here for GMU, as Neuro is signing on, so evening it out this match, going 6v6. Pulse, this could change the entire game here.
It definitely has a chance to. 2CP is one of those ones that's without a 6 member, you're not going to win it. It's very hard to, and it's definitely easier than some formats. Especially like Koth, I would say, is probably the hardest to win at a numbers disadvantage. But anytime you need to stall 2CP, is you really need that 6 person. If you can keep people from getting to point, like if there's actually a significant SR difference, then it doesn't matter how many people you have, as long as you can get them as they get through the choke. But this is one of those ones that's a little questionable at mana disadvantage, which they don't have anymore. So that could entirely change the game.
Yeah, and I think with the fact that Neuro coming in will give them a very, very good shot here to see if they can sort of make a huge comeback. So not something completely come out of the blue here. They've basically allowed ODU to have basically a 2-game advantage, and here we go. We're going to see whether or not GMU here with their 5th MAM can actually take the win here on Volskaya and maybe flip this tournament on its head, as it looked like ODU here was going to go through to a 3-0 win with the man advantage, but with Neuro coming in, this will allow them very much flexibility and let them run what they want to run. Neuro here looking like he's going to be a support, and will start off here on the Zen. So it looks like here Jackson going onto the Sombra. It's going to be triple DPS defense here coming out here from GMU.
And I would say that's probably not optimal in defense, just because of the lack of staying power. But this is something that could potentially work, especially given the players that they're running. Because I believe Neuro was a support, which means that they'd be down a second tank player anyway. And it just kind of makes sense. We'll see how this works out. The Widow Hanzo give a lot of versatility on this first point, since they can stand so far back and still contribute, and just turn the point into an actual shooting gallery.
Yeah, well, here we go. They're going to be depending here on 2-0 here and initials to get some early picks and maybe flip this fight into their advantage and possibly get some picks. Oh, wow, what a shot there from 2-0 right away onto Aristos, who did not cloak fast enough, and now we're already...
Sonic arrow at choke, so a very good Sonic arrow from initials.
Yeah.
Sort of get right as the doors open in case Aristos was running Sombra, which I think is pretty much the only thing we've seen him run.
Yeah, so there was the initial pick there. So no percentage being able to be built from Aristo, so it's going to stall their comp up a little bit as he's 2-0 here looking for the pickoffs here on that Widowmaker. Not going to be able to get anything there as they see that the Sombra has sort of gone through, but they're just trying to find out, making sure where he is. I think he's going to go directly onto 2-0 here, onto the high ground to try to see if they can sort of nullify the Widowmaker. And now it looks like early bird here, and 2-0 is trying to sort of team up on Aristos, and Aristos go down again here as the rest of the members here will go onto the offense, but a D-Mech here onto GT Lugo is going to be huge. As 2-0 here getting the shots that he needs, and down goes GT Lugo again, and now it looks like here a retreat going to be called out here from ODU as Cybear is going to get picked off. 2-0 doing what he's needed to do here on the Widow. You don't want to mess with a Widow in an open spot that is not contested, and ODU here going to be going in for a reset.
And GMU looking very good on this map. They have a lot of set plays for this, just from how we've seen Initial use these Sonic arrows. 2-0's really shown up because it was a little weak on Hollywood, but absolutely getting every single shot that the Widow needs for this defense right now.
Yeah, and they've really sort of wrecked the ult economy here with already 2 minutes to go. It looks like it's only going to be Cybear here. He's going to be able to have an ult coming up. Maybe Fenrir will have his ult come up to the point, but Aristos has not been able to build up that EMP at all coming in, and Neuro actually will get the pick off here onto Fenrir, so moving the tank again here is just not been ODU's sort of cup of tea. Using their main tank here, not going to be able to push through, as Aristos is going to try to see if she can push through and sort of deal with, or at least mess with 2-0 here into the background, as you see, like here, him on the low ground here, trying to sort of figure out what they want to do with the Widow here. But 140 here left on the clock, and not any real solid pushes coming out from ODU here, Pulse.
And there's just a Sombra Widow battle sort of happening in the back. Aristo got caught out as soon as 2-0 popped walls there. There's really nothing you could do, so they've just really been stalling out this time. There's only been about one fight at all, and it was one that was very spread out, and it started with GT Lugo getting demeched. So we haven't even really seen a full 6v6 fight anyway, despite there finally being 12 players in this lobby.
Yeah, and Initials here being very, very bold. Got to be super careful there. Almost, possibly could have gotten reflected killed there. Just didn't have enough. 60 seconds called already on the clock here, as now it looks like the members here are finally going to come in, but Hamster Quest and 2-0 had 2 big kills here. They need to be able to do something here, as 2-0 actually has to fall to the ground to avoid the Sombra that's been up in the air, but it looks like Fenrir here is going to have to run away. Sonic Arrow actually kills Aristos there as they were looking for him in the background. 30 seconds left to go, and it is going to be one push left here for ODU.
There's one push left. They do have everything online though, so we're gonna have to see GMU basically withhold from a nuclear storm in order to keep this point. But if they get another pick or two as they're walking in, then they can very easily avoid that.
Oh, EMP actually by the doorway, and a counter EMP, but all the kills went to Initials and Jackson, so now it is going to be problematic here. Zero Chill is going to have to try to make it. Oh! Friendly goes right into the minefield. They're not going to be able to come in. The minefield blocked the door, and what a defense there by GMU. I think maybe they touched the point once. That entire push, ODU were just stifled at the choke.
2-0 and Initials really showing up on those 2 snipers, and then Neuro even getting a couple right clicks on people as they're distracted by snipers. So very good play, and it was very hard for ODU to even walk through the choke, which is, we have seen them at an advantage so far this fight, but that just looked very sloppy compared to the last couple maps for them.
Yeah, and it really was, but man, that defense was stout. I mean, you literally could not walk through the front door without getting your head basically taken off your body by either 2-0 or initials. So it was just one of those things. The Sombra from Aristos just unable to get into the background and do enough as it was either a sonic arrow or walls coming out from 2-0 was going to pull her out of cloak, and only really getting one EMP that entire fight. And it was the EMP there at the front door towards the end. But now, fortunes have changed here with GMU full holding. GMU really only needs a tick here, and they're going dive, as it looks like, as Aristos here. Excuse me, no, they are actually going to stay with the same comp. I'm looking at the Old Dominion
The only
lineup here.
change is that Neuro and Early Bird have swapped, and Early Bird is playing the Lucio instead of having a Zen on Neuro.
I see.
So they're going to be running very similar stuff. This is probably what we're probably going to be seeing a lot of this if they're running the 6 deck, just because of roles. And if they do the same thing they did on defense, this might be a very quick point A.
Yeah, it might be. It might very much be. So 2-0 here, still maybe trying to get some picks here on the Widow from long range. They probably gets a great shot there onto the Diva. Looks like their Sombra is going to have to retreat a little bit. So Jackson only able to get about 16% here, as the defense here is holding pretty decently. But Initials actually takes out Xerxin. So this might be go time here for the rest of the team, as they do have the 6v5 advantage here. Want to take out Fenrir and the Monkey, and here we go. This is going to be it, as Initials is able to take out Aristos. Hamster Quest dealing with what's in the backline here. Zero Chill and GT Lugo just not going to be able to push in, as GT Lugo is about to lose his mech here. Down he goes, and now it is just going to be GMU. They were prepped for this match. They looked really, really ready, and they're going to win this one in a very, very quick time.
Victory.
And that brings the entire score of this series now to 1-2 in favor of ODU still. So ODU gets to pick a map that they want to play on. And this is really their best chance to close out this series now, because if it goes to a fifth one, or to a fifth map, then that's when things get really deadly for them, especially considering that fifth map is going to be comp, and it's going to be a 6v6 comp.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very problematic. It is an escort map that we're going to be going to. So with regards to escort, it's going to be a full selection here. They can pick. A lot of teams usually really like Route 66. You know, there is possibility that you go to something like Gibraltar. But I don't know if you want to play George Mason team who's full 6 onto a map like Gibraltar, where you can get full held, you can get held in the bay, you can that third point is very, very difficult here. What do you think ODU out of the map selections of Escort should be picking? They could go Dorado possibly. That's always been a favorite for a lot of teams too.
Just looking at what we've seen from GMU, I would think that the initial pickings would be, okay, pick something that you can't run Hanzo Widow on. And Gibraltar's good for one sniper. You can run two, but you kind of want that second pressure. So Gibraltar, not out of the question. But it looks like they are going to Rialto, which just go Goat's forehead. That's the only thing I can say about Rialto, is it favors ground tank play so much, especially just in a lot of quarters of the map. There's very few incentives to switch off that Ryan Zarya Diva, because every time you swap off, you're resetting your alts, but all of them have such impactful alts, and all of them work so well on all 3 points. Just you have to change where you hold a little bit. So if we don't see triple tank, triple support comp, I would honestly be a little surprised. Or maybe even triple support and maybe like a Widow thrown in from each side, since we've seen that both sides kind of want to play. We've seen Aristos want to play that Sombra, and we've seen 2-0 just want to play that Widow. But
yeah,
and it'll be interesting how this plays out.
Yeah, and it will be ODU here on offense first, so they will be pushing in, and it will be GMU defending here. And you know, it's not uncommon to see a full hold here on Rialto either. So, you know, it's going to be very, very interesting to see. And you were right, go Goats, and it is going to be Goats defense here coming out here from GMU.
This is nowhere near Goats, Toto.
Oh,
this is very interesting.
Oh,
so
I am just off today. Look at this.
Yeah,
You're
Early
right.
Bird has swapped off of the main support role on the Genji. Tua swapped off hit scan to Lucio. And Neuro's back on Flex support. So we'll see how this plays out. But This is something that I don't think I've ever really seen here. Hanzo occasionally, but they're running this bunker comp already with the Bash and Orisa Hog Diva, and it's gonna be hard to tank down this much health.
Yeah, so they're already here onto the bridge, and now here we go. And Neuro and Initials getting early kills. Oh, Fenrir takes 2 out into the drink. Initials and Jackson fall into the river here, as it looks like Hamster Quest and Early Bird here, though, are going to get 2 more kills onto Cyber and Fenrir. They're going to be able to sort of slow them down here out of the spawn. So they're going for this sort of early push, and now here they come right back again. 5 men right onto the payload as Aristos here is going to establish himself onto the point. Big sleep onto Aristos, so he's not going to be able to contribute that much damage here. As the charge comes in, not going to be able to get anything as Hamster Quest trying to sort of push through. Big grenade here hits into the back, and oh my god, what a dragon there. Goes right into the middle as Initials is going to be able to get 2. They stop the payload there right before the square, and GMU here going full aggressive here onto ODU. ODU going to have to fall back as they are going to have to reset into spawn. 240 already, 245 here already killed on the clock, as ODU here realizing that GMU here has a very strong advantage.
This first corner is absolute pain to get a Bastion around just because of how tight it is, how narrow the sightlines are. So if they're staying on this, which they aren't, Aristos has already swapped over that soldier. If they get control of point A and start rolling in, they have a potential of swapping back to Bastion, but Early Bird coming in with this Nano Blade just to clean up.
Yeah, he's trying his best here. Was able to get swipes in, but unable to do any sort of complete finishes. Gets hooked and killed there by Zergston. And immediately they do lose the Genji, but they did lose maybe 1 person on the way out. Initials there is able to take Cyber out, but the hook will take 2-0 out eventually. And the res coming in here from Cyber on the Cyber, so they're going to try to sort of push into the square. There's nothing GMU here can do to sort of stop them, as Hamster Quest and team are going to have to sort of fall back a little bit. 150 here left on the clock, and the push is still going. They're trying to sort of push this advantage as best as they can. Bongo gets dropped here onto the side here of ODU, as they're going to be trying their best here to sort of see if they can eliminate anybody they can. GT Lugo here is going to get grabbed, and the Dragon comes here, is going to be able to finish them off. 2 kills here from the side of GMU, as GMU fighting their best here, trying to sort of make a comeback onto this, and now they're going to force Zergston and team back here as Zergston gets taken out before the bridge. They fall into the drink and just immediately reset as Zero Chill fell into the river. 116 here left on the clock, and GMU looking very, very good here for a full hold, as they do have a slight sort of ult advantage coming up here with Early Bird and 2 coming getting their ult here in a second.
And Aristos was almost going for the back cap, but waited for Nur to come back for that early pickoff, which he gets. So now GMU is down 1, and they have advantage in this fight.
Yeah, Zergsting's able to take out 2-0 here, and he's not going to be able to build up his advantage, as Early Bird here will have the blade, but it's sort of uneven on both sides, as Aristos is going to be coming back and 2-0 coming back here. Blade coming here from Early Bird. He's going to be trying to come in and wipe out their tanks. That's going to be huge. Takes Fenrir down, takes down GT Lugo as well, and that slight advantage is now gone, as now they're being able to restabilize here into the square. Payload only just went around the corner, and with 30 seconds left to go, it looks like no ults here on the side of ODU. They are in deep trouble.
Yeah, ODU is pretty much at a loss this map. Well, they came out with a good strategy, started with some good picks, but were unable to get around this streets corner phase, which makes it very hard for them to attack here.
Yeah, so here we go. This is final fight territory. 2-0 going for the ult, was killed in the process of trying to drop the beat. Dragon comes in again, and they get caught here, and it looks like it is GT Lugo who does get caught, so losing their Zarya, not good at all here. They're going to try to res her, and GT Lugo does get back on here. Zero Chill gets GT Lugo to come back. Jackson to no man's land, as Early Bird here trying to see if he can do anything he can here. Just nano boosted. Will build up to the blade here as Zergston takes out 2 in the background, as Early Bird trying to take anybody out here. They're trying for the full hold, as Jackson here will get eliminated. Overtime ticks down, and the spawns here definitely in the advantage of ODU. That might let them here take point A.
And if Initials can get one of these huge picks right now while the cart's pulling into this choke, then that would give them the best shot at taking this back, especially since they don't have a shield anymore. And as I say that, Zergston gets knocked down by Initials. They do have the res for it, but they C9.
Oh no! Oh no! they got too far away from the payload. They were trying to peel for the hamster that was in the background, trying to sort of wreak havoc onto their supports, and they fell off the payload. No, ODU sort of had what they could have seen as a cap on point A, and then could have played a bunker comp to try to see if they could keep George Mason at bay. But now we're going to switch sides. George Mason here now going for the offensive push, and they don't even need to cap point A. They really just need to get right before it. And ODU there had their opportunity, and it just sort of slipped through their fingers.
Yeah, that was... You gotta be punching yourself after that, because they look so good on this. We saw George Mason look so good, and when they finally found that chink in their armor, they had everything going for them to cap point A, and then just that small mistake there at the end cost them a chance to win this map and the series.
So now here we go. No, I don't see any goats to be seen here. Just looking over through the comps, looks like Xerxen going back onto the Genji here on defense here, and Early Bird trying to match up that Genji too. So here we go. We're just going to see some full brawl action here onto Rialto. We saw the advantage here slightly with George Mason as they were going for a very, very high push. The way that this comp is sort of built out, you would think that that's also what sort of ODU want, but it looks like positioning-wise, I think they're going to be a little bit more conservative, maybe hang around the corner a little bit before they engage.
Yeah, it looks like that's what they're aiming for, but this is very good territory for GMU to take fights, because every time you have a Nanoblade, you expect to win a fight, and they only really need to win 2 fights in a row or so here to get this point.
Yeah, it's actually sort of nice to see trying to see this different complement, and Jackson able to take out Aristos. So 6v5 here, 6v4 as Cyber gets taken down too. So here we go. They're going to get very, very aggressive here. Initials trying to see if he can take Fenrir down, and Fenrir does go down here on this from the cleave damage from Hamster Quest. ODU just unable to hold, and there is the box of victory here before we're going to end up going 5. Will they be able to come back here? It looks like the tanks here pushing up, just trying to stall them in the spawn. Nobody's going to be able to come back here as Aristo's trying to sort of run to make sure that they can get to the point, as the payload here already probably 2 meters here away, and that's going to be that. Dragon will clear out everybody here onto the point, and we're even at 2s. Comeback here from George Mason as ODU here given a 2-map lead here, playing 6v5, not able to hold it, and we will go here to a King of the Hill map to determine who wins this semifinal.
And we saw GMU sort of... It looked like they just wanted to be done with this, because they were not stopped at all in that push. Initials getting really big picks on this Hanzo, he's been nuts on Hanzo all day so far. Just picking off the Aristos on the Sombra, shutting down all of the tanks that try and dive him. Really good sonic arrow placement even to help his team out when they need it. And Initial's really showing that you don't want to screw with him. In all senses of the word. Just holy crap, he's done so much work on this Hanzo today.
Yeah, he has, and it's been absolutely fantastic here. So it looks like ODU has picked Oasis. So Oasis will be the tiebreaker map here. As you can see the scores happening here, it was all ODU through Nepal and Hollywood, and now it is GMU who has been exerting their dominance after getting that 6th man to come back in. So GMU here will be going to Oasis. It will determine who will win this match between ODU and GMU, and we will start here on University, excuse me. So it will be University to start off with here, and a ground comp, very, very sort of would be the type of sort of comp that you would sort of want to go through with regards to something like this.
Ryan Zarya is very popular in this. Goats was very popular in this one, so this could be another one where I say go Goats ahead and look like an idiot when they don't run Goats. But definitely I would expect to see Ryan Zarya flavors of compositions in this, just because very ground-based, very small point. You want that deadly hammer to be a big threat when you can. And Zarya, again, very good damage from that laser. So we'll see how these teams run with it. I wouldn't even be surprised at this point if GMU ran this, because why not? Have your hit scan play support and then tank in 2 subsequent maps.
So they're sort of switching it around here. GMU not really deciding exactly what they're going to do. So it looks like Neuro here will end up going here onto the Genji, as Early Bird, who was the Genji in the previous map here, will go to the Ana. On the side of ODU here, Aristos is going to play that Tracer, and it looks like Zergston will go to the McCree. Oh, looks like they do lose their Reinhardt to the pit into the middle here, as Anissus is able to take out Aristos, but Zergston gets revenge on him. So even trades here, two trades, as now it looks like ODU actually going to be able to sort of exert a little bit of dominance here onto the map. They're going to be able to sort of get early control. Cyber takes down Neuro here, and ODU will get early control here on Universities as Fenrir gets sent back into the hole. They like really sending him into that pit, and now ODU here. Oh, what a hook there by Jackson! Captures Aristos, not going to be able to do anything, but Amster Quest there getting taken out by Zergston. Zergston doing his best here to try to make sure that sort of ODU stays sort of even here on this map, as Jackson trying his best to sort of hook and kill anything that moves. 15% was all ODU was able to get here, and now GM here trying to sort of exert their dominance here on the control point.
They're making their way up, and as long as Fenrir doesn't end up in the middle of the map again and fall down onto that Mega, they should have a pretty good chance, because they have looked a little bit better so far on this map than whatever Mystery Heroes comp we've seen come out from GMU.
Yeah, and they did
in the hole again.
They just love sending him into the hole, but this time 2 DPS followed him down and finished him off, so just to end his misery of living underneath the map of Oasis here. So now GMU here just sort of messing with Fenrir must be getting really, really upset, just because it just keeps happening to him, as we're passing 40% here on the side of GMU. Different approach here, as Fenrir refusing to go back into the hole will actually sneak around side of the mini health pack here, and finally here is going to get a different rotation. Looks like Bongo gets dropped here from Tuo, who will make sure to see if they can give the team a little bit of health boost, as it looks like Neuro here going with the blade here into the background. Oh, what a reflect kill onto Zergston, who tried to see if he can high noon and see if he can take out Neuro on the Nano Blading Genji. Not going to be able to do so here. Neuro's going to try to see if he can finish off anybody that he can. Zero Chill here running for his life. Will he survive? It looks like he will, as ODU here is going to get sent back into spawn. Initials takes down Fenrir. We're already approaching 80% here, as Neuro, what a kill there by the Genji, and now ODU is in deep, deep trouble.
What looked like a pretty good start from ODU after they got early control of the point. Fenrir just had a lot of trouble getting kept pulled into that middle section, and they're finally up a person for this next fight, so they will be able to get control of it one last time.
Yeah, kills going all the way here of ODU here, losing too many players here, as they're down to about a 6v3. They've got 99% here. 2-0 drops down to the hole. I think he knows it's pretty much over. Jackson on the other side here trying to see possibly can they push him off the point here and win this with a C9, as a dragon will come through. Looks like no, it looks like GMU here trying to come back a little bit as Initials takes down Cybear. Jackson still fighting here, trying to sort of win this point, as Jackson finally is going to get killed. Now a reset finally coming in from GMU. They realize they've lost everything that they've had on the point here, and now all they really need is one fight. Fenrir getting taken down here. Big grenade there, huge grenade from Early Bird is going to catch members here of ODU. They're going to cap this point again. This has gone all wrong. They didn't even need 6 to take it back. Overtime starting to tick down. Neuro coming in with the blade to just stall anybody from coming back, as Overtime starts to tick down. He takes down Cybear here. He's going to try to take out this tank, as Fenrir here not going to be able to do anything. Zero Chill here onto the point. They're trying to sort of split up the members here of GMU. Not going to be able to do so. Nano Blade here. Nano actually coming in onto Neuro, but the point is lost, and GMU takes first blood here onto Oasis in this tiebreaker match.
Score 1.
I love Mystery Heroes. That was very interesting to see come out, and man, if it weren't for just a couple of those clutch pulls on the Fenrir, I feel like that map would have gone very differently. Spent so much time in the pit the first couple fights, and they did get run over when 2 switched back to the Tracer. It looks like they're sticking with this and leaving 2 on main tank. So we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, on the other side here, Zergston, we're going to see onto the Looks like
5,
onto the Pharah here.
4,
Maybe try to sort of rain
3,
down a little
2,
bit of death on them.
1.
Aristos here going to the upgraded
Round
Soldier.
3.
Soldier
Champion
much better feeling now with the buffs from the last patch. So going to be interesting to see how this sort of goes. GMU here still going to be, it looks like Initials is going to the Soldier too. So now Initial will start here as Xerxton. That pick paid off. Takes down Hamster Quest here, who was on the Lucio. Early Bird gets taken down too, so support gone here for GMU as this fight here very much on the side of ODU as Old Dominion here trying to take their advantage. 2-0 gets taken down. GT Lugo getting demeched here. Probably the only negative that's going to happen is Xerxton gets taken out late, but it will be point control here to ODU.
And Xerxton coming up big with those 2 support kills to start off the fight. First taking out Hamster Quest with a double direct midair. Always like wall riding and jumping at him. And then taking down the Ana player in Early Bird.
Yeah, Xerxton here still sort of roaming around in the air, trying to see if he can catch anybody. Target's going to be the Genji now, but it looks like 2-0 coming, diving in very, very aggressively here, trying to see if he can maybe do a little bit of damage here onto the backline. Initials, though, gets a great kill onto Xerxton here, and will take out Aristos along with it. So now it is an ulting Monkey here, just trying to see if they can maintain a little bit of control here onto the point, as the Monkey is able to sort of push anybody back, but it is just going to be only for a little bit, as Fenrir here is going to be eliminated here by Neuro as they're trying to sort of go through. It looks like Initials does have his ult, not going to be able to use it, not going to have to use it, as GT Lugo is going to get pushed back. They do get initial control here, but 48% here for ODU. Pretty respectable here, as now GMU here will try to sort of press to see if they can win their match here right now.
But Lugo is already stalled as Baby Diva. Could have potentially made their way to point and forced a reset, even though it would have fed a lot of ult. Now they're just going to lose 20% while they wait for GT to build up a new mech.
Yeah, unless he gets killed here, and then that'll be just another 10 seconds that they're just not going to be able to afford to lose, as they are stalled here at the front door choke. Barrage coming in from Xerxton here will take out Initials, but not before he takes out himself. Right there, Hamster Quest gets taken out here too, so looking good here, ODU. They get the trades that they need. Aristos popping that visor will finish off Early Bird. Only 36% here from GMU, as they weren't able to sort of bypass the percentage here of ODU. Looks like now they're going to be ready for 6, but big 6 ults here almost online coming in from GMU. Neuro here will have the blade. We'll follow him to see where he's going to pop it and see what his targets are going to be.
And they're definitely going to need a nanoblade for this, because Cyber does have that transcendence and is almost definitely waiting for Neuro to come at him screaming in Japanese with the giant sword out.
Yeah. Well, Initials gets taken down here, so that is a big kill. Now 6v5 as Xerxton also gets taken out. They're going to try to initiate here with the Demon Bomb. It looks like the blade not going to come out right away here. Now here it comes out. Neuro will go for the high ground here, and he's looking for targets away from the Transcendence, as Zero Chillery and Aristos not close enough to Cyber here, as Cyber's Transcendence finally goes down, and now the advantage is going to the way here of GMU, but we're already at 95%. Angry Monkey here just trying to sort of build it back up to 99, and as GMU here getting close here, one fight left here for GMU, as if they can win one, they can take it to 3 here, and might have a little bit of advantage on GMU, as they did have to blow most of their ult here to take that back.
Yeah, and 2-0 kind of feeding a little bit, going all the way to spawn alone. Means that they have every way to get into this point that they want. They need to be careful of this visor, but a Diva Bomb coming in might change things.
Nope, Initials almost getting blown up by the visor, was able to position himself right, but they're too many down. It is ODU here who are going to get control of this point and possibly win it right here. There's one man stalling here. It's 2-0 trying to stay alive here onto that Tracer, trying to start to stay alive, looking and blinking, shucking and jiving, trying to stay alive. They can't get him. He's going to demech GT Lugo. They finally get him. His Fenrir actually takes him down. Control here still not on the side here of ODU. Hamster Quest getting deleted as he gets the point. Looks like a visor here from Aristos to keep everybody off. Control still with GMU. Finally, GMU loses the point here. They've had to sort of stagger themselves really, really badly. So now it's just going to be a matter here of being able to sort of win out, try to see if they can win out this fight, and they will take it to a third map. Actually, well, looks like they will be able to, as Hamster Quest gets taken down. Kills going all the way here. ODU getting control. GMU not going to be able to make it to the point. We're going 3.
Man, very good showing from ODU on pretty much everything that map. They played it very well. Xerxton coming up big on the Pharah kills. opening up so many fights for them, so many chances for them to win.
Mhm.
And then coming into City Center, they're going to have to keep this momentum going forward because I see this map favoring GMU so much just because they've been running that triple DPS. And this is a map where triple DPS has been meta since before triple DPS was really a comp. You'd have your Diva player switch over to a Tracer, you run like a long range hit scan, and then maybe something else like a Pharah or another type of person like a soldier, someone that's kind of operable on their own. And we're running out, and they're running Jackson on the Diva now, so a little bit interesting. They're not really playing to what we've seen them be strong at. They haven't really run that many Divas so far, and Initial's not really on that Hanzo, which could be pretty good here.
Yeah, but you know what it is what I'm seeing is people who are playing their roles are doing so. So like with Hamster Quest on the tanks here, no more messing around. GMU have decided, no, that's not going to happen again, and they clear out the members of ODU because you do see Hamster Quest here on the main tank here on the Winston, and Early Bird has gone back to the Mercy. So now it is serious time here for GMU. They did not like losing that second map here to ODU to put themselves into this position, and now positioning themselves on the high ground here, just trying to sort of deal as Zerxton here onto the Pharah here is going to try to sort of rain rockets down. Aristos actually is able to take down 2-0, and that is actually a really big kill here. So now Zerxton will have no competition in the air, sort of starting to deal with it, but they're still having issues as Initials actually takes Zerxton down. And Neuro is able to finish off Aristos, and now GMU being able to take the kills that they absolutely need here. But it looks like it's going to have to be retreat time here from ODU as a late stagger onto Fenrir. Neuro getting killed by GT Lugo was big, but probably going to be able to get Neuro back up.
There comes the res right now, so they're going to be at full force for this next fight. Regardless, Neuro won't have to sort of run around, find their way into position at the last second.
Yeah, we're already here at 50% as GMU here wants to close out this map, and they want to close it in dominant style. You were saying that they had a huge advantage here, Pulse, and it really does look like it as they're basically on the high ground and just not allowing the members of ODU to do their thing. A Monkey ult here trying to sort of dislodge the members here of GMU as a Visor getting popped here by Initials as he's looking for targets, is not going to be able to. Oh, what a rocket there! They're going to be able to take out Zerxton's Neuro. They're being able to take out the main DPS here of ODU as they're going to have to they're going to have to fall back again. Barrage coming in here from 2-0 will not really do very much, but it will sort of send them back. Aristos here gets taken out by 2-0 as at 85% GMU here is just dominating City Center, not allowing anybody to come through. Bomb actually gets placed, trying to see if they can sort of get anybody coming out of spawn. We're at 95 already, and nobody is getting close to the point. GT Lugo getting demeched here onto the point. Bomb coming in as Hamster Quest, great shield there to make sure that nobody gets affected here, and all the kills here all still going on the way here of GMU. Aristos here able to make sure that he gets some kills, but it's not going to be enough as Zero Chill gets GT Lugo to come back up. There's only a few members back here. Oh, a remech will kill Zero Chillery. Overtime takes down, and George Mason makes the comeback after spotting ODU 2 maps, and they will take this game 3-2.
As soon as they got that 6-person in, it was very heavily favored towards GMU. They gave up a couple things they probably shouldn't have, especially already being down 2 maps. That's a very gutsy move, but in the end they pulled it out for the last map and made sure that they knew that they were taking them seriously.
Yeah, they were taking them seriously, and there was just no more playing around there for GMU. GMU able to take the match here 3-2, and then just book their seat into the championship game here. So they will be playing at home at the championship game at the LAN event at Game Mason. So let's give you some info with regards to that. It will be held here on the campus of George Mason University. Special guest speakers there, John Romero and David Hayter, along with various educational sessions being presented there by the games department here at George Mason University. For those looking to relax and chill out at the event before the Overwatch tournament starts at 6 p.m., there is gameplay rooms available for anybody that shows up. CS:GO, Apex Legends, Fortnite, etc. Play various games here available to all of you who do attend the event. It is $20 for non-Mason students and free for any full-time GMU students who wish to come. The Overwatch tournament conclusion of the VCOI will start at 6 p.m. in the main ballroom and will be the third place game to start off with. It will be ODU versus Virginia Tech, and in the championship game it will be two teams who are very familiar with each other. It is James Madison University and your George Mason Patriots. They will match up there in the championship game, best of 7, to determine who is the king of Virginia. Pulse. So very, very exciting there for GMU. And just another promo just to let everybody know, GMU trying to make it to the finals of the TESPA Collegiate Championship. They will need to defeat the Utah Utes. Game to be determined. It will be on the Blizzard channel, but make sure you subscribe to their Twitter and Instagram accounts just to know when that game will be. It will be played next week. The winner of that game will be flown out to Houston, all expenses paid by Blizzard. So GMU there trying to make sure they can go to that LAN event and see if they can maybe be declared the champions of the nation here in Overwatch. So lots on the line here for GMU coming up next week.
Yeah, definitely. And like we mentioned earlier, the winner of that game, versus the Utah, George Mason versus Utah, will be flown to Houston for a final playoff. So good luck to the local GMU team.
Yeah, and you said that you were going to give them restaurant advice there in Houston. Pulse here, being a native Texan, will be able
Not
to
native.
let not native.
Yeah. Hit me up if you want that Houston food.
So absolutely. So make sure, members of the GMU Overwatch team, while you watch this VOD, if you decide to rewatch it, message Pulse if you want to know where the good restaurants are in Houston if you do make it to the Utah Utes. But that's going to conclude the online portion of the VCOI. Pulse, this has been a pleasure for me because being a Virginia native, I get to see all of the universities here sort of go at it together in a game that I love. You've had to be casting this from the West Coast, waking up early. Any final memories here from the VCOI on your side?
Oh, it has been a very fun tournament to cast.
Mhm.
It's unfortunate that it's not like some other tournaments where there are large SR gaps between teams, but that's also kind of what gives it like a charm, because I know there are some weeks we're doing casts with two GM teams, and then the next week it was like two goals, so it's like always kind of keeping us on our toes, and it was very fun to do.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things in which you know that there's various skill gaps around the country as teams are starting to build up their Overwatch programs and esports programs in general. So be it Overwatch, be it League of Legends, be it CS:GO, be it whatever. Universities are definitely taking esports seriously, and that is definitely something that is on the way up here. So it's not just home video games anymore. You can earn scholarships, you can earn grants, you can earn all sorts of things, so that it is a legitimate sport for those who are wondering if they want to go. And some places like Shenandoah University offering an esports major for those who want to manage and sort of be in the business of esports. So it is something that is very seriously taken by everyone. But that's going to do it for your online portion today. Join everyone here at Game Mason, the LAN event that will be on Friday, April 5th. You will see the finals of the VCOI take place live if you come. So please get some tickets and go out to that event. It's a fun event for everyone here. But for Pulse, I am Hodohori. Thank you so much for joining us during these like 5 weeks here of the VCOI. The finals will take place next week, and they will be here at George Mason University. But for everyone involved in the VCOI, for Speedy, for myself, for the George Mason team, and everybody that's participated, thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you on Friday.